Hi everyone. So, a few days ago I was talking about the Army's enlistment push and how I thought that maybe there isn't going to be a real big chance of potential conflict coming up. However, I am not a Pollyanna and I will not close my eyes to some concerning developing trends that have happened over the last year, especially after watching the response of the inauguration of Philippines' new president. You can definitely see that there is a shift in posturing. China is rapidly increasing its cooperation with its neighbors, especially with Russia. Critics have pointed out that the US is trying to effectively create a NATO situation for Asia. I don't know where these guys have been, phrasing it that way as if this is something new, but lots of US forces have been spread out across Asia ever since we got involved in World War II, Korea, and the Vietnam War. That is, as we say, the nature of the business. China is now also creating this new base in Cambodia, and every other place seems to be supporting the US. If you take a look at the inauguration's guest list, there's some pretty interesting representatives. You even have the Chinese VP there. And if you listen to BBM's speech, he does talk about a new, more engaged partnership. Now, China's stranglehold on the world isn't militaristic in nature, it is definitely economic. And you simply can't ignore the fact that they are a very dominant, very powerful economic force. Let's pull up a few stats. They are heavily invested in Africa because of the raw materials and other things that they can source from the country. They even have a movie about protecting their interests in Africa where they're portrayed as the good guys, and US contractors, of course, former special operations, are portrayed as the rogue bad guys who do nothing but create bad situations for locals and of course for Chinese interests. And while that's all well and good to have a Chinese Rambo, the real strength comes in the fact that we import way more than we export to them. Our cost of living would skyrocket if we created everything here at home. That's just a fact. Sure, the quality of the goods would most likely improve. However, things could potentially get extremely volatile when you're trying to convince American families to pay 2 to 3 times what they're used to spending on regular household goods. Everyone that's watching this video also had their eyes open in 2020. We all know what happened. Could you imagine another shortage of essential items around the house simply because China decided that they weren't going to play with us anymore? That's not even the most worrying part. Almost every medication and piece of medical equipment that the US uses actually comes from China. And it doesn't matter if you buy it from Canada and get it shipped down. The packaging is different, but the origin is the same. The same applies if you go south of the border to Mexico. Most medication is going to come from China. A hot war could potentially be suicide for both countries. Their economy would fall apart, our economy would fall apart, both countries' citizens would be extremely displeased with the situation, and everything would just be a complete mess. So when you take all of that into account, how could you prep for that? Do I have all the answers? No. I'm just a guy that monitors news, job trends, economic trade, and numbers. Do I think we need to do our best to stay prepared? Absolutely, as best as we can. This is a good reminder that we do need strong leadership and that politics is downstream from culture. That causes us to make some pretty stupid decisions. We didn't get here overnight, and we're not going to leave this space overnight either. Hopefully, me putting this out there will get you to start prepping the best that you can to reconnect with people who are of a similar mindset, who value preparedness, who value doing the right thing, and hopefully you can spread that mindset within your community. Of course, by this time next month or even next week, things could be radically different. Things have been moving very, very fast compared to previous years. But don't lose hope. Don't let this engulf your life. You have things that you have to do. You have a new generation that you have to work on setting up. That's the kind of mindset that we have to build on. It's not that we're going to change things immediately. We have to think about the extremely long game. That's how we got to this point in the first place. So until the next video, be good, stay safe, and have a good one.